Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Yoga, 7 o'clock. If you need your blocks, make sure you have them handy. Any other props that you feel you might need. So today we're going to start in Tadasana at the top of the mat. So you want to come to stand at the top of your mat. And when you come to the top of the mat, you want to bring your big toes together and just let yourself really feel that you're connecting with all four corners of your feet. So let the toes lift up. So you want to spread the toes wide, press down into the ball mound of each toe. Really feel as if you can find the ball mound of each toe, pushing down through the big toe and all the way out through the pinky toe. So the toes are spread wide, and feel a sense of lifting out through the arches of your feet. And then just gently place the toes down to the floor, keeping them spread out wide. And let the arms come down alongside you. Draw your belly into the back of the spine and let your tailbone push down towards the floor. And feel as if your hips are opening outward. So you're going to feel a little bit of an outward rotation. And you want to keep your legs straight and try not to really lock your knees. Keeping the tailbone pressing towards the floor. Feel the crown of your head extending towards the ceiling. And feel your arms relaxing down alongside you, turning your palms slightly open, and just let the chest open without pushing your chest forward. Feel just the shoulder blades drawing together. And let your shoulders pull down away from the ears, and just holding in mountain pose. Just stay here. Find a soft gaze at some spot on the wall in front of you. And then start to link and connect with your breath. So you want to start to let your Ujjayi breath come into play now. Ujjayi breath is that sound that the breath makes when it travels through the back of the throat and makes like a sound of the ocean wave or a ha sound. And once you start to get comfortable with that breath and feel that you're connected to the earth and lengthening through the crown of your head, feel the space in your body, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes. So now when you close your eyes, you just check in. If you feel dizzy, if you feel a slight swaying side to side, and you feel that that's uncomfortable, then let the eyes open. Check in with your body and feel every bit of tension melting out of the body, sending it down to the earth, and allowing yourself to open up any tightness, any tension, and let that just kind of move out of the body. So you want to feel that you're freeing that tension and letting it go. Feel as if the energy is extending out through the tips of your fingers. So continue to notice that your navel is drawing in, so you're engaging your abdominals. And those four corners of the feet, you're feeling them grounding to the earth. The arches are lifting. Anytime that you feel you need to open your eyes, open your eyes. And let's slowly let the eyes open and just relax your arms. From here, roll the shoulders forward, lift them up, and bring them back and down. So you want to draw the shoulders forward. Try not to move your body, just moving the shoulders. The arms will move, but you don't want your body to kind of do any kind of movement. So really squeeze the belly into the back of the spine so that you continue to establish that straight body. And then let's circle the shoulders the opposite way. So try really not to let the body move. Just notice the shoulders are moving and the arms move with the shoulders. And then from here, let's bring our hands into prayer position, taking the thumbs right into the center of the heart. Take a moment just to notice your heart beating. Let your breath continue to stay smooth and even. And just focus your gaze somewhere on the wall in front of you. From here, inhale, lift the arms all the way up, stretching up as high as you can. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. So bring your hands to touch. You might not be able to touch the mat with straight legs, so you're going to bend your leg. I'm going to take the right leg back and then the left leg back, taking it into a down dog. So once that leg goes back, your hips are lifting up, your head is hanging. The crown of your head is pressing down towards the floor and the heels are pushing towards the earth. Let the palms push your mat away and just holding in your down dog. So anytime that you feel that you need to rest and you can't continue through the practice, you can take a rest until you feel that you're ready, and you can rest in child's pose. So if you're not familiar with child's pose, this is what it would look like. So everyone else that knows, you don't have to look, but if you don't know what it looks like, this is what it looks like. Your tailbone is pressing down towards your heels, your big toes are touching, and you're resting your forehead to the floor. So you want to rest in child's pose when you feel that you need to. So in your down dog now, just kind of bend your legs at the knees and then just kind of swivel your hips over to the right. So your feet are going to kind of swivel as well. Just kind of press your right buttock towards your right heel. And then slowly come back up, swivel the hips and the feet to the left, and press the left buttock down. So try to push the mat away so that you're not forcing weight into your wrist. And come back up, and once again, swivel over to the right, and come back up, and swiveling over, once again, to the left. We'll do that one more time. Really feel the stretch opening in through when your right buttock comes to the heel, you're going to feel a lot of stretch in the left side. And come back up, and then when you swivel to the left, you'll feel a lot of that stretch through the right. And come back up, and then right from here, just take your feet and walk them out to the very edge of your mat. So you're in a wide stance with your feet. And then see how low you can get your head and push your chest closer towards the thighs. Take a nice deep breath here in through your nose. And we're going to sigh it out through the mouth with your exhale. And again, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. And last one, inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Feel your heels pushing down towards the floor. I'm going to start to walk now the hands to the feet. So as you're walking, your heels will start to touch the floor. Keep walking and start to bend your legs at the knees. You want to slightly open the feet out a little wider so the toes are angled to the corners of the room. And we're going to take it down into Malasana, which is a squat pose. So if you feel that it's challenging to get down there, you can use your block and use the highest point, the midpoint, the middle point, or the lowest point, whatever feels comfortable. And you can basically sit your sits bones onto that block. But if you're very open through your inner thighs, you might not find this very challenging. So you want to bring the elbows into the inner thighs, and thumbs come into the chest. So we're squeezing those knees outward, pushing them outward, and opening up through the groin and the inner thighs. And now, just as we did earlier when we were in Tadasana, just let your eyes close and just experience what you're feeling now while you're here. And so closing your eyes, just staying steady in the pose. And we're going to slowly open the eyes, bring both hands down to the mat in front of you, and then you're going to start to lift your hips up. And as you do, start to heel toe your feet a little closer together. So once you get your feet about hip distance apart, put a slight bend in your knees, and bring your left hand over to the right ankle, and take your right arm and extend it out to the side. Pull the shoulders back, knees are bent, and start to turn the right chest towards the ceiling as you start to straighten your left leg. So your chest is on your right thigh, your left leg starts to straighten, and you're going to feel a stretch into that left hamstring. Now, if you can straighten the right leg, you can go ahead and do that. This is an intense stretch. And then bend both legs at the knees, and you're going to switch, taking your right hand over to your left ankle. Keep your chest on your thighs. And take the left arm extended out. And start keeping the left leg bent. You're going to start to straighten the right leg, raising the hip up, and let the left arm really extend up. So you want to feel your chest is on your left side, so you're basically in a forward bend. And when you're ready, if you want, the left leg can straighten. So stretching and opening into the hamstring. So pretty intense stretch. We've opened up in through the inner thighs and now the back of the legs. Bend both legs at the knees. Bring both hands right down in front of your toes. Heel toe your feet out again, but make sure the toes are facing forward so your pinky side of your feet are on the edges of your mat. Walk forward into a down dog. So your heels will lift, and remember the weight goes back through the sits bones, pushing through the heels. And breathe. So try to lower your head down. And then we're going to lift up the heels and just take the feet so that they're about hip distance apart, continuing to keep your heels lifted. And lift the heels up as high as you can, but push your chest towards your thighs. So really, when you're lifting now your heels, you're going to feel a complete stretch happening in your calves. And now as you lower your heels, push all the way to the floor and let your toes lift, which will continue to stretch the calves, but you may also feel a stretch through the shins as well. And then from here, look forward and walk your feet all the way to the very top of your mat. From here, take an inhale as the arms come out to the side, hinge from your hips. Let's come all the way up. Raise your arms up, bring your palms together, and slowly bring your hands to the center of your heart. And hold in your Tadasana again, but with your palms together. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes or just gaze forward. So always having a place where your eyes are. They're either looking at a spot on the wall, or if you're choosing to look down at the floor, you don't want to bring your chin down. But your eyes, your drishti, your gaze is someplace that's in front of you, and it's a focus, a focal point. You don't want to be letting your eyes dart all over the place. So let's take both arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. So now we're going to continue to stretch in through the legs. We're going to take the right leg back. And then you're going to kind of turn onto the ball of your right foot and come onto the ball of your left foot. You're sitting your left buttock down to the left heel, and you're turning now the whole right toes up to the ceiling and flexing the foot, pushing the back of your right knee down to the floor. So you're getting a nice inner thigh stretch here. Breathe here. Just go as deep as you can. And then we're going to take the hands and go over to the other side. So you're taking it over to the right, lifting the right heel off the floor and turning the left toes towards the ceiling. So flex the foot so that you increase the stretch in through the left inner thigh. Try to push that left knee down to the floor. So it's a little bit of an intense stretch. We want to work on opening up those legs. And then bringing that foot, the left foot flat to the floor, just walk your hands so that they come right to the middle of the long side of your mat. And allow the toes to face that long side of your mat. So they're not turned out to the corner of the mat, but to the long side of your mat. Long spine. Now, if you need to bring your block underneath, you want to keep your back nice and long. So sometimes we can't touch the floor, and if we force ourselves to touch the floor, we end up rounding the back or bending the knee. So you want to just get that length through the spine, length through the legs, push the hips back, and try not to really force your weight forward. You want to just feel that you're pulling your belly in and the weight is going up towards the hip, through the hips. So just drop the head down. Try not to force the weight into the block or onto the floor. And then slowly take your arms out to the side, hinge from your hips, and let's come all the way up. Lift your arms up, and then you're going to open your arms out in goalpost. So elbows are going to bend here. You're going to turn your toes now to point to the corners of your mat. So your feet are wide. We're going to take a squat. Pull your belly in and just press your tailbone as it lowers towards the floor. So you don't want to push your butt back. You don't want your chest to come towards the floor. You want your chest to face the wall that's in front of you now. And your inner thighs are pushing back so that you can go deep into the squat, working on the quadriceps. Nice deep breath. And from here, inhale, stand straight up. Reach the fingers up. Arms go straight, legs go straight. Exhale, bend. Go a little deeper. And again, stretch the arms, straighten the legs. Inhale. And exhale, take it down a little deeper. Really send that tailbone down. And lift up again. Inhale. And exhale, bend. Keep the shoulders pulled down, tail is tucked in, belly pulls into the back of the spine. And then from here, straighten out both the legs and the arms. Arms go out to the side in T. I'm going to hinge from the hips. Now, as you hinge from your hips, only take it to where you're able to come down with a flat back and without rounding and hunching through the upper back. Legs are staying straight. I'm going to take the right hand and reach it over to the left ankle. If you can't grab the ankle, take hold behind the calf. Or if you can't even reach there, hold behind your left leg. But don't hold behind your left knee. Now you're going to lift the left arm up for a little twist here. And now if you can, get a little longer. Inhale, and then pull your chest in towards that left side. But don't compromise the back. So you don't want to start to bend the leg or round the back. Only take it where you can feel the length so that you're getting the stretch through the whole left side. And if the left hand feels uncomfortable keeping it up, just let it rest on your left hip or onto the lower back. And gazing up, and let's switch sides. So we're going to first take the arms back out in T position. Inhale. Exhale, left hand is going to come over to the right ankle, behind the calf or onto the side. And then you're going to lift the leg. Lift the right arm. Inhale, and then exhale, pull the chest in without bending the leg. So you might not have that much range of motion. You may not be able to get down that far. So just keep that twist and breathe. If it's uncomfortable with the arm, place it onto your lower back or your hip. And then releasing that left arm, come back, arms in T. Inhale, let's come all the way up. Lifting the arms up, I'm going to turn to the left for a warrior two. So the left knee is going to bend. Your toes are turning to the left, so now they're facing the front of your mat, and you're right in your warrior two position. So opening those inner thighs helps us for this posture. You want to sink your pelvis down, keep your shoulders over the hips, belly in. Breathing here. One more deep inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, straighten the left leg and both arms lift up. Inhale, switch the position of your feet for your warrior two as you exhale. So now the right toes face the back of your mat and your left toes are facing more towards the longer side of your mat, about a 45-degree angle. Shoulders stay stacked over the hips, pelvis reaches down, belly in. Continue to gaze down the fingers of your right hand and keep your breath flowing in and out through the back of your throat. And from here, inhale, straighten the right leg, bring both arms all the way up, turning back into that left foot so the whole toes turn towards the front of your mat. Bend the left leg at the knee and windmill the hands on either side of your left foot and take your right foot to meet the left. Lengthening your spine, inhale. Exhale, hold here. And let's take the arms out to the side, lifting all the way up. Bring your arms up and lower your hands to prayer. Hold here. Closing your eyes or just keeping your gaze focused at a spot on the wall in front of you. Or if you choose to look down, just don't drop your chin. And just check in, notice how you're feeling so far. And slowly let your eyes open. Raise both arms all the way up. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Step your left leg all the way back. So as that left leg steps back, you're going to hop the left foot a little closer to the right foot. So about a foot and a half to 2 feet apart. You want the left toes to kind of come right behind the right heel. So you might need to have your block handy. So you're going to take your block right in front of your toes, and you want to pull that right hip back so the right leg is going to stay straight. So if you're bending the leg, you want to straighten the leg. So that might mean that your hands are not going to be on the floor, that you might pull the right hip back, and that you may have to lift lift your hands off the mat and place it on the block. So you want to pull your right hip back. This is an intense stretch in through the back of the left leg and the right leg. Long spine here, so you want to make sure that you're not rounding and hunching. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Trying again not to really force the weight onto the block. And then from here, take an inhale, lengthen. And you're going to put a slight bend in the knee, so if you're holding onto your block, you're going to be able to remove it. Slight bend in the knee and bring both hands down and take your left foot forward. Now bringing the right leg back, so you're going to take it back into a lunge position, and then you're going to hop that right foot behind the left. So you want to square the hips down to the floor, pulling the left hip down and pulling the right hip down and pulling the left hip away from your left thigh. So as you get the position of your hips, when you start to straighten your leg, you may need the assistance of that block to let that left leg go straight. So we want to have a straight leg in the right and the left. So long spine, and just depending on how your flexibility is, let your chest lower down a little closer to the left side. So intense stretch in through the back of your left leg, and you'll feel it in your right calf. And then lifting up, so if you have your block, you're going to remove it, bend your left leg, and just bring your right foot forward to meet the left. And let's lengthen the arms out to the side, come all the way up, reaching up, and take your hands to prayer and hold. So getting that, really working on stretching out those legs, inner and outer thighs, front and back of the leg. And so from here, let's release the arms down. Make sure that you're at the very top of your mat. We're just going to give a little bit of a stretch in through the quadriceps now. So we're going to focus on first the left foot. So you're going to bring your toes onto the mat on your left foot. So spread the toes wide. You want to press down into the ball mound of each toe on the left foot. Lift the toes, and then just place them down so that you find a foundation. You're going to shift the weight over into the left leg, and then when you feel ready, you're going to pick up the right leg, and you're going to bring the heel towards your right buttock as you reach back with your right hand. So we're trying to find a balance. Now, you don't want the right knee to go too far forward, so you want to really feel it pulling back. That's going to you're going to feel the stretch into the top of your right leg. So pull that heel in and keep pointing your right knee down to the floor. So you're getting a little bit of a challenge here because you're balancing while you're also experiencing that stretch. So keep pulling the heel in. Feel the stretch through the quadriceps. And then let that foot come back down. We're going to switch sides. So you want to spread the toes on the right foot, pressing down into the ball mound of each toe, and spread those toes wide as the toes relax down. Lift out of that right arch, shifting the weight over. Right leg stays straight. When you're ready, picking up the left leg, bringing the heel into the buttock and reaching back to hold to the left foot. Now pull the heel into the buttock and press your left knee down to the floor. So you don't want the knee to go forward. You want to really try and pull it back. So depending on your flexibility, you want to really feel that stretch happening in that left quadricep. And then release, take that left foot down. In your mountain pose, you want to bring the big toes together. Now let's take the arms all the way up. Inhale and fold forward as you exhale. Stepping it back into your down dog. So we're taking it right back into down dog. Pressing through the heels. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Now let's walk the hands to the feet. This time we're going to take it into a squat, bending the legs at the knees. So your heels are going to stay lifted, and you're going to continue to walk until your heels are down to your buttocks are down to your heels. So we're in this squat position. What we want to try and do is find a balance here. So let's start to get our spine to be a little straighter and tuck your tail under Thighs come together, knees are pointing forward. And just try to find the balance. So now it's stretching in through the soles of the feet. Those quadriceps should be pretty warmed up. Let your hands just rest on top of your thighs. And it's normal and natural if you fall out or if you start to wiggle or quiver a little bit. That's a natural sensation. Keep the tailbone tucked under and keep your gaze forward. For an extra challenge, maybe see if you can close your eyes. So closing your eyes may shift your awareness and you may find it challenging to balance, but if you can, close your eyes. And then let's slide the hands forward, taking it back into a down dog. And let's open the legs up so that wider down dog comes into play now. So you want to press through the heels, draw the head closer to the floor, and let the heels really push down as far as they can get to the mat. And breathe in here. And then from here, let's lower down onto the knees. We're going to cross the legs and sit down onto the buttocks. I'm going to work on opening the hips a little bit here. So you want to come onto your sits bones with your legs crossed. Bring your left foot in front of you. And we're going to lift the left foot. You're going to take the fingers and interlace your fingers. As you lift the left foot, you want to get those fingers to come right behind your right alongside the left pinky toe. So you can round to get down there, but once you're there, you want to try and get length through your spine. So try to lift your foot up towards the ceiling. Just feel that left hip really opening and getting a stretch. So left toes are lifting up. Keep your shoulders pulled down, keep your belly pulled in. You're on your sits bones. Nice deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Send your foot slightly forward and lift the toes up towards the ceiling and then pull the toes towards your chest without rounding your back. So you want to maintain that straight spine and continue to pull in. This is really opening into that left hip. So you want to do the best you can without being rounded through the back. So if you have very tight hips, your leg may not lift up that high. But you want to do the best you can. So let's send the foot slightly forward, lift the toes up more to the ceiling, and then you want to see as if you're going to touch your forehead with your toe. So you're not bringing your forehead to your toe. You're keeping your back nice and straight, and you're trying to pull the toe up towards your forehead. So keep the left knee out to the side. Try not to let the knee stay down towards the floor. Try to let it open up. So do the best you can to lift that knee up. And then we're going to release the hands and take the left side of the foot, the pinky side of the left foot, into the crease of your right elbow. Wrap your right hand around the shin and take your left arm around. And it's as if you're rocking a baby, loosening up your left hip. Just get a nice loosened up hip here. Try to keep the back again nice and straight. And then you're going to take that left heel and try to place it right close into the right hip so that you come into a half lotus pose. So then once you have your foot close to the hip, it may only get right by the knee. Maybe it's still just by the right shin, but you want to try and pull it in as close to the right hip as possible. So remember, when you practice this, the flexibility will come the more you practice. So as we're here, we're going to just sit with our hands on top of the knees, close your eyes, and just breathe. So you're really going to feel that left hip opening. And one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Let your eyes open. Now release the left leg. So before we go to the right side, just bring the edges of your feet parallel to your mat. And then lean back and just kind of windshield wiper your legs from side to side. So before we go to the other side, we'll just loosen up the hips a little. And then we're going to sit up tall and fold the left leg in. This time the right leg we're going to reach down, interlacing the fingers and reaching down to the right pinky side of the foot. And we want to sit up straight. So let your right knee open out to the side and just kind of lift the foot up. Try not to be rounded here. So if you really are finding it challenging to even grab the foot, maybe see if you can just at least hold the ankle. But you want to hold the foot and lift it up. So you don't want the foot to be down towards the floor. And let that right knee open out to the side, sit up nice and tall. And then extend the toes slightly forward, lift the toes towards the ceiling, and pull in towards your chest. Again, maintaining that straight spine. So don't worry about how far the foot goes in towards your chest. You're going to be feeling it in your right hip. That's where you want to feel it. So make sure that you're not rounding your back and then bringing the foot into the chest by bringing your chest down. So you want to pull the foot into the chest by pulling the foot into the chest, not the chest to the foot. And then extend the foot slightly forward, lift up a little higher, and you're going to pull up towards your nose or towards your forehead. And each time you're hitting a different area of your right hip to open it up. And then we're going to take that right pinky side of your foot into the crease of your left elbow, wrap the arm around, take your right arm around, and rock side to side. Just rocking as if you're rocking a baby. And then you're going to try and place that right heel right into the left hip. So it's close to the left hip. You may find one side has more range of motion than the other. So the side that's a little bit tighter is the one that you want to work on a little more. And then once you get that heel in, just rest your hands onto your knees. Let the hip relax, close your eyes, and just breathe into the stretch. And slowly let your eyes open. And we're going to release, taking that wide stance so the pinky sides of your feet come to the edges of your mat. Lean back, and we're going to windshield wiper those feet once again from side to side. And then just kind of scoot down onto your back. So once you're on your back, let your heels pull into the buttocks. And just rest for a moment here, allowing the feet to come together and soles of the feet open. So let the inner thighs open up in goddess pose. You can take your hands right to the insides of your thighs, keep them on your belly, or just let them rest down alongside you. So opening in through the groin, the inner thighs. And then let your eyes open if they're closed. Close the leg. I'm going to take the left leg. So just make sure that your lower back is on the floor. So come into a little bit of a tilt here, pelvic tilt, and let your sacrum really press down. Keep the belly pulled in. Right foot is flat on the floor, and let your left leg lift up. Flex that left foot, and you want to keep pressing through the back of the knee. Now, if you have a belt, you can take the belt around your foot. If you have a tie, you can use a tie as well. That will help you keep the leg straight. But if you don't have any of those props, you want to hold to your ankle or your calf or behind the thigh. But you want to keep that left leg nice and straight. If you're flexible enough to take your left toe in yogi toe lock, which is the first two fingers in the left thumb wrap around the big toe, you can do that. Now, push the heel to the ceiling as you push the left foot, back of the knee forward, and pull your left buttock down. So you want to really feel that your left hip is pulling down so that that left hip stays grounded. And we're going to send the right leg straight forward. So the right leg goes forward and flex the foot and try to really push your back of the right knee down to the floor. So now from here, bring your right hand onto your right hip and keep pushing that right hip down to feel your right buttock grounded to the mat. With that left leg straight, take an inhale, pulling your belly in, round down through that left hip, and let the leg start to open only as far as it can go, keeping the leg straight. So if you're super flexible, you might be able to get the leg down, but if you get the leg down and your right buttock lifts up, you don't want that. So you want to just take the leg out to the side, maintaining the straight leg and maintaining that right buttock rounded. So this is giving a deep stretch through the hamstring. You'll feel it a little bit in the inner thigh, and just open the leg. So make sure the leg is straight. Even if it doesn't go all the way over, you want to keep it straight so that you get the stretch where it's intended to come into that leg. And then bring the leg back up. Slide your right foot flat to the floor, and let's place the left ankle on top of the right. Let your left knee fall open gently to the front of the mat. Bring both arms down alongside you. Pull your navel into the back of the spine. And we're going to press and lift the hips off the mat. You're going to press into your hands, lift your hips and butt off the floor. And so you're only going to be able to lift where you can feel that stretch. That left hip should really be feeling that it's opening up. And then lower everything back down and release your left foot down to the mat. We're going to raise the right leg up. So as the right leg lifts, you want to flex the foot, push the back of your right knee forward, ground through that right hip, so pull that right hip down to the floor, keep the toes flexed, and keep that leg as straight as possible. So if you have a belt or a tie, you can hold where the ankle is or around the foot. You don't want to put any pressure behind your knee, so if your hand is behind the calf, make sure it doesn't slide down the knee. If you're able to, make your yogi grip, first two fingers and thumb wrap around the big toe. Slide the left foot forward, so you want to press the back of the left knee down to the mat while the right knee is pushing to the front of the room and the right toes stay flexed. Left hand comes onto your left hip. Inhale, really pull that right hip down and navel into the spine. Open up the right leg only as long as it can go with a straight leg. So don't start to take it out when you're bending it. You want it to stay nice and straight, and you don't want that left buttock to come off the floor. This is giving you that stretch through the right hamstring and inner thigh. And breathe with it. Keep flexing that right foot so that you feel the stretch in through the right leg. Don't let that right leg bend. And come back up to center. Slide your left foot flat, and you're going to let that right ankle come on top of the left thigh. Release the arms down alongside you. And we're going to press into that left foot, lifting the hips and butt off the mat. So press and lift, and just let that right hip open. And slowly lower everything down. And then release your right foot. Just stay here for a moment. We're going to bring the legs into the chest, hug your knees in, and just rock gently from side to side. And now from here, cross your legs at your ankles, place your hands behind your thighs, just below the knees. We're going to rock ourselves forward and back, giving a massage through the spine. You're going to allow yourself to come forward and roll back, coming forward and rolling back. Doing this a couple of times. And then the next time that you come forward, come into a cross-legged position and move yourself to the middle of your mat. And then just take your legs out and come onto all fours. So your fingers are spread wide. You want to come more about a foot away from the top of your mat. We're going to come into a little bit of a back bend. So first what we're going to do is we're going to keep the legs about hip distance apart. You're going to send the right leg all the way back, push through the heel. And then you're going to send your left leg all the way back, push through the heel so the hips don't lift. Now you're going to let your whole body lower down. And once you come down to the floor, your forehead is on the mat. Let your toes go flat. And then slide your arms all the way alongside your ears. Your fingers are reaching further than the front of your mat. Forehead is down, legs are together, ankle bones are touching. So we're going to come into a back bend. What we're going to be doing is lifting one arm and then the opposite leg. So first we're going to raise the right arm. Just raise the right arm up and lower it down. Raise your left arm up and lower it down. Raise your left leg up and lower. Raise your right leg up and lower. Raise your right arm and left leg and lift your forehead. Keep your arm alongside your ear. Try not to look up. Don't crunch into the neck. So all you did was raise your forehead off the floor. Your forehead should be still facing towards the mat. And now take that right hand, bring it back, and if you're able to, see if you can grab the top of your foot and lift the leg up. So if this is too intense, just keep the arm and the leg extended. So whatever feels good for your back. And then release the foot if you have the grasp there and lower down. Bend both elbows into your body and turn onto your right ear and just relax here. So as you're relaxing, you can probably feel your heart beating, but really take that time to connect to listening to the way your breath is sounding as it flows through your body. You want to keep the breath smooth and even. So return the forehead once again onto the mat. All 10 toes are down onto the floor and big toes are touching. So your ankle bones are touching. Extend both arms forward once again and keep the forehead down. This time the left arm is going to lift up and the right leg and the forehead lifts. So keep pressing down into the toes of your left foot. Try to push your right hip down to the floor so that you're not lifting that right leg so high up that your hip lifts. So you really want to feel the squeeze into that right buttock. Make sure that you're not arching through the neck. So you don't want to be looking up to the wall in front of you. You're looking down at the mat. Option here to bend the right leg and reach back. Find the top of your foot and pull that heel away from your right buttock. Keep pressing that right hip and left hip down. And then release, extend the arm and the leg, and turn onto your left ear and fold those arms in wherever you're comfortable, and just relax. Listen to your breath. Really let yourself feel the way the breath is traveling through the back of your throat. So this is a good time to listen and hear how your breath is sounding. So you can, when you notice it's a little rough or choppy, you can really slow it down. And then return the forehead onto the floor. Take your hands right next to your shoulders and slide them all the way down to the bottom of your rib cage and let your palms stay flat. So keep the fingers spread wide. The heels of your hands are on the floor. And pull your shoulder blades together, pulling the shoulders back away from the ears, drawing the elbows towards each other. And then just start to raise your head and lift your chest without really using your hands. And then you're going to gently push into your hands and come right onto the hands, and the knees are going to come right under your hips. So when you come up, your palms should be automatically right underneath the shoulders, but your knees need to come a little closer to the hands so that they come under your hips. And we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow just to loosen up the back, any tension that we might have presented into the back from that back bend. So let's curl the toes, let your tailbone tilt up, lift your head, and then flatten your toes, draw your navel into the back of the spine and round the back, chin into the chest. And again, curling the toes, lift the tail, head up left. And toes go flat, exhale. And two more times, curl the toes, lift up. And flatten the toes, round the spine. Last one, curl and lift up. And toes go flat, exhale, round. And now right from here, cross your legs at the ankles, come to sit back. So you want to be in a seated position. You're pretty much right at the back of your mat. Bring both hands onto your knees, sit up tall. And just let your eyes close for a moment. Let your eyes slowly open. Raise both arms all the way up. Inhale, taking a twist over to the right. So your left hand finds your right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Push down into the right hand and pull your right shoulder back and down. So you don't want your back to lean back. You want to make sure your spine is long and straight. So from the crown of your head to the tailbone, open up the chest, look over the right shoulder, and then close your eyes. Take a few breaths here as you just get into that deeper twist where you feel comfortable. And notice your breathing. And opening your eyes if they're closed, slowly come back to center. And let's take both arms all the way up, inhale, and turning to the left this time. As you exhale, the right hand finds the knee, left hand behind. Remembering not to lean back, not to round into your twist, but lengthen and create all that space that's available as you open into your twist, squeezing those internal organs. Check in with your shoulders, close your eyes, and just notice what you're experiencing in your body as you breathe in and out. And slowly come back to center. And from here, just come into the middle of the mat. We're going to finish off with an inversion. So we're going to just practice this for a little while. We're not going to go all the way into it unless you know that you're able to do it. You're going to bring both hands flat on the floor. Fingers are spread wide. So you're going to keep the shoulders right over your palms when you come up and just move your knees back a little bit. So your shoulders are right over your palms. You're going to bend your elbows and you're going to be placing the crown of your head right in between the hands. So the crown of the head is on the floor. Your elbows are bent, so to get your head down there, you have to bend the elbows. And your knees are still under your hips. Now from here, as long as you feel okay, and you're not going to be pushing too much weight into the crown of your head, pushing into your palms, so put more pressure into the wrist, the palms, and then start to lift your knees while you're pushing your hands into the floor. So not forcing the head down. Start to walk in towards your elbow, your feet towards your wrist. And then maybe you can bring your knees right onto your elbows. So if you're able to come into this position here, you want to bring those knees right onto the elbows. Maybe lift one leg up, bring it down, and lift the other up, and bring it down. And then eventually you can lift one up, and then the other one will come up. So you want to just practice that. If you feel that it's too much, just take it right into child's pose and rest there. So it's just starting to see how it feels when you move into this inversion tripod. So after you feel that you've done enough and you don't want to do anymore, then just rest in child's pose. We'll continue to practice, give you a few more moments to continue to practice. So you can come out and then try it again, remembering the forehead comes in between the hands. The elbows are bent. You're lifting up, placing the knees right onto the triceps, and then maybe one leg or both legs will lift. So do whatever you can do. So wherever you are, everyone find child's pose. Just take a moment to let go. So you don't want to feel a lot of pressure on the crown of your head. There'll be a little bit, you'll feel a little bit of it, but you really want to feel as if you're lifting all that energy up. That's why we use our bandhas. So you want to use all that energy through the abdominals to pull up that sense of weight on the body. So you want to lift the weight up rather than dropping the weight all the way down. So you're in child's pose now. Just stay here for another moment. Slowly come back up onto all fours, and however you can, start to lower onto your back. And once you're on your back, just bring your feet in close to your buttocks. Take the soles of your feet, heel toe them out to the edges of your mat. Take your knees with you, so don't keep the knees closed. Squeeze your belly into the back of the spine, so feel your lower back pushing in. So your knees are up to the ceiling, feet are as wide as the width of your mat. Open your arms out in T position. Take an inhale, draw that navel into the spine, and on your exhale, release your knees over to the right side. So keep your feet wide. Don't bring the feet in closer when you're doing this. It's a different stretch than when you're in a twist. So you're going to feel more opening into the left hip, the left thigh, maybe more in towards the inner right thigh. And just breathe here. Like you feel as if gravity is really drawing those legs down, and you can relax into this pose. And slowly come back up. Edges of your feet are right onto the edges of the mat, and then release over to the left side. And just relax. Let those knees draw down. And slowly take those knees back up. And heel toe your feet in close to each other. Hug the knees into your chest. Inhale, pull the nose up towards your knees. Exhale. And pull in a little closer. Inhale. Exhale, a little bit closer. Inhale. Exhale, and lower the back. Lower your feet. And extend your legs straight out. And let your arms open out away from your body. Let your legs extend out, hip distance apart, feet flopped to the side. Just get comfortable where you are. Feel your body relaxing. And just let your eyes gently close. So before we completely let go, I want you to really tense up your whole body. So you're going to make a fist with your hands, tighten up and tense up your whole body. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale, let everything go. And again, taking that, making a fist, tense up all the muscles in your body. Inhale, exhale, and let it go. And let's do that one last time. Give it your last shot. Squeeze those hands, make that fist, squeeze those muscles, squeeze your whole body. And then exhale, sigh it out, let it go, and become relaxed and feel comfortable in your Shavasana. So take as much time as you need to really feel that you're relaxed, because when you're relaxing, you don't want to be fidgeting around all the time. So that's why it's important to find that spot to be in right away, so that you're not feeling uncomfortable, that once you get there, you can just stay there without having to move your body around. Just let everything go. So maybe we worked a little bit on some of the muscle groups that are very tight for you. But it's important that we work through our tightness and our stiffness and work through our challenges. But always remember that be mindful of where your limitations are. So you never want to feel that you're forcing through, because you don't want to injure yourself. So you have to be responsible enough to know when you're at your own edge. So let everything go. And perhaps just say to yourself, I accept where I am in my practice. I accept where I am in my practice. I accept myself. I listen to myself. So maybe just saying those things a few times in your own head. I accept myself. I accept where I am in my practice. Just accepting your limitations. So let go of anything that's holding you back. from relaxing deeply into your Shavasana. Try to not let your mind hold you back from your relaxation. Softening the body and the mind. And just letting go with acceptance of where you are. Take a moment just to be present where you are, accepting where you are. Feel your body heavy and relaxed. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. So consciously bringing some movement into your body. Start to wiggle the wrists and the ankle. And when you're ready, take a nice deep breath and stretch the arms overhead as you point your toes forward. Exhale out any sighs, sounds, or moans. And gently hugging your knees into your chest. As you pull them in, just rock it out slowly from side to side. Massaging your back. Find your way all the way over to the right side of your mat. Feel your head as it rests gently onto your right arm. Left hand in front of your chest on the floor. As you lie here on your side. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. And while you're here and still, take this time to thank yourselves for coming to your practice, for participating in this evening. And when you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, press gently into your left hand, guiding yourself up as you come to a seated position, trying to let your head be the last to come up. And once you're sitting up nice and tall, lengthen your spine and bring your hands into prayer as your thumbs come to press gently into the chest. And we'll thank ourselves now once again for taking the opportunity to practice this evening. And we'll close with one Om. So take a nice deep breath in. Om. Slowly and gently lower your chin to your chest as you bow to that light and love that shines within you. Know that that light and love shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and I hope to see you next time.